Good evening, I am Adventure Argonaut. This is the Golden News. Excuse me, just drank some water in a too hurried way. So, this is the news from the past week and all that. And let's see what news we have after I verify that my streams are working, of course. So, let's pop out some chats out here for Kick because I still don't trust my OBS to show me my Kick chat. Because previously it's been buggy last time I checked. But yeah, Kick and Twitch are working. How about Rumble? It seems to be okay. Indeed it is. Okay. Everything is functioning so we can get to the news. So the first piece of news is that the Epstein files are actually gonna be released. Supposedly, I'm a bit skeptical that. Well, yeah, I believe they will release some sort of files, but like how redacted will they be, or will there be something missing from the files? That's a pertinent question. But anyway, so yeah, the House has passed legislation to release all of the Epstein files in a 427 to 1 vote. So who was the one who um, said no? I don't know. It's not said here. So US President Trump signs bill to release the Jeffrey Epstein files. Yeah, good. Like, even though he was very much against it and say, call it a hoax and all that, like, I can't keep track of all the different ways he said that, there are Democrat hoax or they don't exist and all of this that, his administration claims. Um, so House Speaker Mike Johnson says that releasing the Epstein files without redactions could lead to imprisonment of many prominent Republicans and Democrats. But the author admits in a reply that the information he cites is as sourced from CNN is untrue. Yeah, but I think like even though it's not literally true, it's true in spirit. I do think that Mike Johnson fears this. So which is why there probably will be redactions or something like that. So Epstein files bill grants Attorney General Pam Bondi the authority to withhold or redact any material that could endanger national security or jeopardize an active federal investigation. So yeah, if this is true, then definitely there will be stuff withheld or redacted. This is how Speaker Johnson plans to protect perverts who went to the rape island from embarrassment, says Thomas Massey. Do not let the Senate add an amendment to avoid disclosing those rich and powerful men who have evaded justice for so many years. Is Johnson calling all victims non-credible? Yeah, so dangers of the discharge petition. Victim privacy does not adequately protect victims. Innocent persons risk disclosure of non-credible allegations, creating new victims. Okay. And House Speaker Mike Johnson says releasing the Epstein files without redactions could threaten national security. So maybe this is more like what he said instead of this thing. But I think that that's probably more in the spirit because I do believe he has also been protecting the people in the files. Mike Johnson says he's deeply disappointed the Senate passed the Epstein bill without changes. He says he spoke to Trump tonight and they both had concerns. It's good. It's good that they are sweating. It, might mean that something is actually going to happen or, there are still many ways, they can politically delay them or just redact and all that. Anyway, Thomas Massey replies, yesterday the House did the people's will by voting overwhelmingly to release the Epstein files, overcoming Mike Johnson's 5-month-long obstruction. Yeah. His last hope was that the Senate would insert a loophole to kill the intent of the bill, but the Senate was having none of it. Sounds good. Whenever something seems too good to be true, I get very skeptical. So yeah, I'm not gonna celebrate yet, but it's interesting though. Pam Bondi now says new information has changed her entire outlook on the Epstein client list. This marks a major shift as she had previously insisted no third parties were tied to Jeffrey Epstein's international child trafficking network. Bondi says she will now follow the law closely and provide the maximum transparency it allows. Yeah, she say I forget like who said what, like both Cash Patel, Pam Bondi, and then Trump, all of them said like no, the list don't exist, like nobody, Epstein had no victims at all, he was in jail for no reason, and whatever they said. Do you want to hear them read the names? So both Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene are saying if Trump's DOJ redacts any of the names from the Epstein files, they will personally read the names on the House floor. And your thoughts? Uh, well, I don't know if MTG will be there anymore because she's gonna quit in a couple of months. Or in less than 2 months, I think. And okay, AG Pam Bondi declares that there is an official pending Epstein investigation in SDNY, New York. So Sony, New York, whatever. But and yeah, earlier it said like some stuff might be withheld or redacted if it would jeopardize an active federal investigation. So that's one reason why she could be doing this official investigation into it, just to withhold certain information. Fun fact: Trump never released all the JFK files. Trump released all of the JFK files except those that cause unidentifiable harm to the conduct of foreign nations. It's written on the White House website in fine print. So I wonder what the foreign relations, not foreign nations, like what foreign relations they could be talking about. Could it be Israel? It's possible there's other nations there too, but certainly that's going to be one of them. So yeah, the President John F. Kennedy Assassination Records Collection Acts of 1992 required all records related to the assassination of President Kennedy to be publicly disclosed in full by October 26, 2017, unless the President certifies that continued postponement is made necessary by an identifiable harm to the military, defense, intelligence operations, law enforcement, or conduct of foreign relations. Yeah, so it wasn't all the files. Yep, that's no surprise to me at all. And so here it says, Quiet Piggy, Donald Trump snaps at female reporter asking about the Epstein files. Quiet Piggy is fun. In another context it might be funny, but now if he's just getting triggered, like, although I'm not quite sure, I can't really make out well what the reporter is saying, like if she's really asking about the Epstein files or something else. But yeah, at least they don't seem happy that the files might be released, but it could be an act of some sort. And Massey says, I'm sorry if one of your billionaire donors is going to get embarrassed because he went to Rape Island. Refreshing to hear a politician speak like this. Yes, it's like a real human being and not a politician. It's weird that this is allowed to happen. And Prince Andrew's biographer says in leaked video that Jeffrey Epstein and Melania Trump were lovers. Now, I don't know whether it's true or like, well, if the biographer, maybe he was wrong, maybe he's lying, who knows? Let's see.
So here we are with him in Mar-a-Lago, as you see with Epstein. Sorry, can you see okay? Epstein, a woman called Gwendolyn Beck, who Andrew took to the island. and Melania. I had various references in my book to Melania Trump. Epstein had actually been her lover before Trump, but Trump didn't like that in the book, so he ordered it to be taken out.
I can't make out what he's saying. Whatever he's. No, I was very, very drunk. But I guess I'll trust Spencer Hakimian here. Larry Summers resigns from OpenAI board following release of Jeffrey Epstein emails. Yeah, I do think, like, I wasn't sure who he was. Like, name sounded familiar, but I guess he's had something to do with OpenAI. Like a couple of weeks ago when I read them, whenever it sort of rings a bell, his name, but don't really know who he is outside of this. Um, White House tweeted, "It's been a broken system for decades. President Trump is the one finally shutting it down. Department of Education abolished. Education to the states." So I guess that's good, but still, I think bigger issue is the Epstein files, to make not only releasing them, to making sure that all the criminals, the accomplices of Jeffrey Epstein, see justice, and the whole network should be dismantled. But Trump doesn't seem willing to do that for whatever reason. President Trump and J.D. Vance not invited to the funeral for Dick Cheney. Those seen in the building include Joe Biden, so he's still alive, I guess, yeah, or whatever, whether that's the real Joe Biden, whether he's, some say he died like a decade ago. Anyway, Biden, Kamala Harris, George Bush, and Mitch McConnell. Yeah, so it's interesting because now Trump seems to be, playing the ball, being part of the swamp. But if they still don't like him enough to invite him to the funeral, or maybe he just didn't want to go, like fucking Dick Cheney, burn in hell. I don't know. Republican state lawmaker from Arizona called me to be hanged in September. Now Trump is saying Democratic members of Congress should be hanged. This is not a joke. These calls for political violence are completely unacceptable and they must stop now. So seditious behavior punishable by death, Trump said on, I think this is Truth Social. And hang them, George Washington would. And Donald Trump retruthed this. So I think they were talking about, like, some Democratic politicians were, like, telling members of the military to disobey Trump's orders or something. So I don't know, but, like, I guess nobody got hanged, so it's not really that relevant. Like, Twitter was talking about it for a couple of days, a little while ago, but not much happened with it, so whatever. An FBI director, Kash Patel, has concluded their investigation into Trump assassination attempt, finding that Thomas Crooks acted entirely alone. Yeah, look the face of honesty clearly here. I don't think Crooks acted alone. Like, he was allowed to be on the rooftop where he, shot if he even shot the shot. I don't know. There are many questions, but, like, yeah, like, Foundering pointed out the previous week or something, that Trump seems very unconcerned over finding out the truth about the matter. Like, of course, it might be that Trump knows who tried to have him killed, assuming that the assassination attempt was real. But, like, he doesn't, for whatever reason, he doesn't want to make it public. Like, maybe whoever threatened him has been taken care of. Maybe there's been a deal. But it would still be nice for people to know what happened. And there's no credible info that Epstein trafficked minors. Remember that. So yeah, this is Kash Patel, of course.
Credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one
For the information that we have
in the files.
in the case file,
Okay.
is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And
Yeah, but weren't there, like, people actually claiming to be victims? So he's saying none of them were credible. I guess. And there's this picture has been floating around of Trump and Bill Clinton, and I don't know whether it's genuine or not, but Cockturd says that it's been 24 hours and no one has debunked this picture of Donald Trump preparing to blow Bill Clinton, and X is the only place for factual news per Elon. And so yeah, experts are saying it's real. So supposedly, Hive analyzed this post using Hive's AI deepfake detection models, and hey, is this AI generated? Check any content. So AI generated image 0%, deepfake 0%. So I don't know, and it's from 2004. Like, of course, it could be genuine. And back then, Bill Clinton and Donald Trump were friends. And perhaps, maybe Trump is just adjusting his tie or his belt or whatever. Like, they were close friends. It could genuinely be, something, innocent. They were just, in certain contexts, it looks wrong and a bit sus. But, theoretically that's possible. Or maybe he was, maybe there's more pictures of showing Trump doing something very Lewinsky-ish to him. We don't know. All right, but that's that from like the Trump administration and the Epstein files. Let's move on to another topic. Wait, what? Why is this here? That this is in the wrong place. Okay, let's move it back a bit. All right, that was the. Okay, I'm looking for. So anyway, the Marjorie Taylor Greene, she quits. Like she was very. Trump was attacking her very vehemently just last week, I think, and now she's saying that she's gonna quit being a member of Congress. And like she was one of the not one of the few politicians not bought by APAC, which is of course unfortunate. I'm not saying that she was the definitely necessarily all in the up and up or anything, or saying she wasn't, but certainly she was like recently one of the more voices critical of Israel, and now she has to step down. Wonder why. So yeah, she's stepping down from Congress on January 5th, just before January 6th. Is that symbolic of something? I don't know. And something was deleted, but from MTG's Jesus resignation letter, and the common American people finally realize and understand that the political industrial complex of both parties is ripping this country apart, that not one elected leader like me is able to stop Washington's machine from gradually destroying our country. Instead, the reality is that they, common Americans, the people, possess the real power over Washington. Then I'll be here by their side to rebuild it. So I guess she's saying in a politically correct manner that there is no political solution, that the people, because I've been hearing these, like there's these two memes about America, that first that about the watering the tree of liberty, that thing, and also that there's a weapon behind every blade of grass in America. And perhaps Americans should remember what those two memes mean to enact some change. And Massey says here, Trump just signed a bill I forced through Congress to realize his campaign promise of releasing the Epstein files. But then he said of MTG, she started backing perhaps the worst Republican congressman in our history. Stupid person named Massey. Yeah, well, Massey got the Epstein files at least released in some sense. So yeah, and I've said before that Massey is supposedly a member of the Order of the Molay Masonic organization, so that's a bit sus too. But like, looking at his actions, he's actually, trying to do some good, whereas Trump has been doing the opposite of draining the swamp, unless, Bill Clinton's dick is the swamp, then, yeah. Or Baba's, whoever Baba is. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, so her official statement, not gonna read that thing, but Randy Fine says, one anti Semite down, one to go. So just, see, like, the way to judge a man or a person, a woman here, is to look at her enemies. And these kinds of people seem happy that she's gonna go. So I guess, that says something positive about Marjorie Taylor Greene. And Mario Nawal says MTG just pulled off the smartest political move of her career. Everyone treating Marjorie Taylor Greene's resignation like a loss, they're missing the entire point. MTG didn't just quit because Trump scared her off. She quit because she's playing the long game, and fighting a Trump funded primary smear campaign 2 months before election season kicks off would be spectacularly stupid. Here's what she actually preserved: her position as MAGA's undisputed ideological leader. Pick any real MAGA issue: Epstein files, food costs, Big Pharma, America's first over Israel first, military industrial complex opposition, and she's been the most vocal, most consistent voice. That's a track record you don't torch in a petty primary fight. Trump called her a traitor for disagreeing on a few issues. Her response: bow out gracefully, call out the threats, and maintain the moral high ground while staying politically viable for Senate, governor, presidency, or even VP to JD Vance down the line. Would JD Vance have her, and would you have JD Vance? The brilliant part: she exits as the principled one who wouldn't play battered wife to Trump's vindictiveness, while keeping herself as the top choice for MAGA's next generation of leadership. No messy primary loss on her record, no algorithmic destruction campaign eating away at her credibility, just a clean exit with maximum future leverage. MTG isn't done, she just refused to let Trump decide when and how her political story ends. That's not weakness, that's chess. I think maybe this is a bit optimistic way of looking at it. Like, I'm not saying it's, I guess it is good, like save facing, no, sorry, face saving maneuver for MTG, but like, because there's some people suggesting she might run for president and stuff, and like, I'm not sure if she will. E. Michael Jones says, good analysis. Trump is incapable of breaking with big Jewish donors, which means he can't hold the MAGA coalition together, which means that ship will sink in the upcoming midterm elections. And also, Laura Loomer seems happy that MTG is quitting. Her life being made miserable this last week makes me happy. Trader Green is a terrible person. I get a lot of joy in watching my enemies fall. Seeing Americans being miserable makes me happy. This is what MAGA has become. I'm out, says this guy Kilgore. And then there's this meme, on the old Stalin meme. Yeah. Who's this woman? Like, she looks familiar, but otherwise, yeah, like, okay, Elon Musk looks a bit weird here. It's Tucker and MTG, of course, and now they're all airbrushed away. But yeah, it's a good meme. And then there's Nick Fuentes is also happy that MTG is quitting. I don't trust her. I don't see her as a viable leader. Good riddance. And by the way, she's a woman, so I never liked that to begin with. Well, I know he doesn't like women in any sense of the word, but like, okay, I still think that she's a better leader, certainly, than Fuentes. But like, just contrast Fuentes with these people. So MTG was anti-Israel and anti-H-1B and pro-Epstein disclosure. Fuentes is glad she's gone. Exactly. That says a lot about Fuentes, less about MTG. But that's that about Marjorie Taylor Greene. And Cloudflare crashed. It was on the same day as the Epstein files were being debated in Congress, and it took out like large chunks of the internet for a few hours. Like I noticed it when I tried to watch anime on one anime site I tend to use, and it wasn't working. I was like, okay, clearly it's not working. And then how about let's go to Twitter? And then Twitter wasn't working either. And then I found out, okay, Cloudflare is down, and that's why it's neither site was working, but YouTube was at least working. Uh, so yeah, the internet, Cloudflare is one peg here. Yeah, like why the fuck do we always put most of our eggs in one basket? And also, like, what bothers me, like, shouldn't all these companies, like, Twitter or X, sue Cloudflare because potentially they lost some companies a lot of money, like, I couldn't access X to buy a premium subscription or something. So potential maybe I would have done it during those few hours that Twitter was down, but because Cloudflare didn't allow me to access the site, I couldn't give them their money. So like, shouldn't everybody be suing Cloudflare, right? And Andrew Chorba says half the internet went down as the Epstein victims press conference was happening. Shut down Cloudflare. Is this a Zodiac killer? The myth of consensual internet. I consent, I consent. Basaka from top, whatever that is. I don't. Tokyo Cloudflare. Yeah. Isn't there somebody you forgot to ask? Yeah. Like, shouldn't there be redundancies or something? Like, if Cloudflare is down, then Twitter or whatever site should work on some other provider or whatever you call these services. Like, maybe it wouldn't work as well as Cloudflare, but like, I'm just imagining, like, let's imagine for a second we designed our society in a way that things work instead of just trying to control things or just make money for the people who already have like ass loads of money, like like that, like I understand, like, if it's something like if I have my own website or something, I wouldn't have the money. But like some services, like big websites, surely they could have like redundancies to like alternatives for hosting their sites and stuff. But I guess not. Right? But is no, this is still in the wrong place. We still have some Cloudflare stuff. So, and another Cloudflare news is that they lost a lawsuit to major Japanese companies to pay damages for hosting anime and manga piracy sites up to $3.3 million. Reminder that Cloudflare is also the company that was responsible for the internet going down a few days ago. So yeah, so that's one like controversy because some like it Cloudflare used to be treated as like infrastructure, sort of like a road. Like you if a serial killer uses a road you own, you are not held responsible for allowing them to use that road. But now Cloudflare is held responsible for that sort of stuff. So it's like, I don't know. No, I guess nobody really knows what's going on, and everybody with money to throw around is just waving it around and trying to do something to harm others, basically, which is bullshit. All right, this Candice Owens story is still in the wrong place. Damn it. All right, but I think that's we have other news. Yes, let's go to other news then. What is this? Twitter knows where you are. Um, okay. It's like I fucking hate this. Accidentally, I grouped some tabs together, and I fucking hate this. Why would such a thing even exist? But so yeah, now Twitter knows where you are. They have the new function of showing your location where your account is based in. So X has just shut down access to this feature after millions of foreign MAGA Israel bot funds were exposed. Yeah, it was shut down and now it's working again. I guess they protected the ones, but like, of course, lots of like this one. MAGA scope with the American flag, and then it's account based in Nigeria. And there were like, many of these, or like some Native American spirit is from Bangladesh. And of course, that's um, I just think it's silly. Like I think most of these accounts is easy to see that they are sort of fake. They're basically just engagement farming. These kinds of like I guess it's surprising that it's from Nigeria and stuff, and like and it's of course good like if there's somebody who's named American Patriot or something and then they're from India, then it's a bit sus. But on the other hand, I've seen lots of Americans seem very surprised that somebody, oh, this guy that I've seen on talk online, he's actually from Australia. It's shocking. Like some people actually think that Twitter is only for Americans or something, or that only Americans are allowed to talk about America. It's like this is one of the most retarded takes because I talk more about I'm Finnish. I talk more about America because for the most part, there's no point in talking about Finnish politics because it doesn't really affect the rest of the world. What Finland does, but whatever America does, it tends to affect the rest of the world. So yeah, of course, people are interested. But anyways, then there was this Homeland Security um, account was based in Tel Aviv, Israel. And when I first saw this, I genuinely thought it was a meme, like ha ha ha, funny, funny. But actually, it's supposedly it's true. It's real. Like and even Grok sort of admitted, like confirmed that it's not like it's a weird glitch supposedly, but it's like okay, let's analyze the claim that it's just a glitch, that no, it was created in Israel, I mean in America, and oops, Freudian slip. It was created in America and always been in America, but it's like okay, why does it have happen to be accidentally showing it's in Israel? Why isn't it in Pakistan or Bulgaria or Nigeria? Like coincidentally, it's in Israel, of course. So yeah, it's clear. Like we know where it was created. And why is Maduro's, the Venezuela's president's official account based in U.S.? Yeah, so is he actually in U.S.? Like, is it like this beef between him and Trump? Is it all fake, and he's just spending all his days in America or something? And or what? Or is this account fake that it's not actually being controlled by him? I don't know. Um, but okay, I guess I have to show because it's probably very shocking. Even though anybody who's ever listened to my streams probably knows that there's the profile. It's like, why can't you go to the profile if you click here? I hate it. So where am I? I'm account based in Hong Kong. Yes, I've said it many times, so it shouldn't be a I'm Finnish. I live in Hong Kong. It's like also some people seem to have difficulties wrapping around that. Some people might actually be in another country than they are. Were born in. But anyway, let's move on to another topic. So the French government plans to assassinate Candace Owens, and also I have some Charlie Kirk related news still here as well. Okay, wait. This is where is the? I mean, this one. All right. Sorry, I was in the wrong order, but this is the French news. So 2 days ago, I was contacted. Candice Owens here saying it, contacted by a high-ranking employee of the French government. After determining this person's position and proximity to the French couple, I have deemed the information they gave me to be credible enough to share publicly in the event that something happens. In short, this person claims that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. So they have paid for it already. Yes, you read that correctly. More specifically, that the green light was given to a small team in National Gendarmerie Intervention Group. I'm told there is one Israeli that is on this assassination squad and the plans were formalized. Again, this person provided concrete proof that they are well placed within the French government apparatus. Further to this point, this person claims that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13th Brigade with multi-state involvement. Journalist Xavier Poussard's life is also at risk. This is deadly serious. The head of state of France apparently wants us both dead and has authorized professional units to carry this out. I ask that every person retweet and share this. I do not know who in the American government can be trusted since this source claims that our leaders are aware. But I have more specific information which is definitely verifiable should they care to reach out to me. The brave official in France who did this because they were so moved by the evil of Charlie's public execution to risk their own life. May God bless you truly. Let all be revealed. So, the Romanian gypsy, he made a video on this, and he said there's basically three options on this. What this could be, and I guess I sort of agree with it. So first of all, it's possible that Candice Owen is making it up, that she's just lying for attention. That's one possibility. The second possibility is that maybe the French official is lying. Maybe it's, I would say that maybe it's actually a psyop. Like it could be a psyop to make Candice Owen seem unhinged and, make outlandish claims to make her seem crazy. That's possible. Actually, I think that's my most. I think that scenario is most likely, or it's possible that Candice. It's all true that what Candice Owens is saying is true, and what the French official said is true. That the Macrons actually are planning to have her assassinated. But now it's like, if she happens to die, let's say within the next 6 months or something, everybody will be pointing their fingers at the Macrons. So it's not a good idea for the Macrons to have her assassinated at this time. Of course, somebody else might have it done who don't really care about what people think about the Macrons or the French. But I'm not saying that she's lying. I don't know what's the truth here, but it's like it's still. It seems a bit extreme still to think that they actually paid for her assassination. Seems going a bit far, but maybe. But anyway, let's see what else we have here. Okay, let's also check this. Candice Owens just revealed that there was an Operation Valhalla strike that took place from August 25th to August 29th. It was a military exercise where troops practiced full-distance live-fire rifle shooting, and yet I think Charlie Kirk was shot on September 10th, so like a couple of weeks after this. And remember when Kash Patel said, "See you in Valhalla" after Charlie died? No such thing as coincidence. So yeah, it is. If this Operation Valhalla strike happened, then it would make sense because there were just memes about Kash Patel saying "See you in Valhalla," and it was in connection to the Charlie Kirk assassination. So yeah, it does sort of make sense. But what was Kash Patel then signaling? Maybe he meant that the operation is successful, like Operation Valhalla strike was successful. Maybe that was his message then. And Turning Point USA Insider. Charlie Kirk was about to prove Epstein is alive and living in Israel. Charlie Kirk uncovered the one secret no American political figure was ever supposed to see. Jeffrey Epstein wasn't dead. Okay, before I go in, I should point out there was that one US politician who made this cryptic uh, Twitter thread back in the day when Epstein supposedly died that, says like, the beginning of each post was one letter. When you put it together, it was something like, Epstein didn't kill himself and he's in Area 51. I did address it a few months ago, but I don't remember the exact quote now. But at least, just saying that some American political figure had pointed, like, sort of alluded to the claim that Epstein wasn't dead back in the day. But anyway, let's continue. Not even close. He was quietly exfiltrated from his Manhattan cell and flown to Israel under deep intelligence protection. And when Charlie found out, when he started asking the wrong questions, pushing the wrong files, connecting the wrong dots, that's when the countdown began. So no idea whether this alleged insider even exists or whether he's telling the truth. I have no idea, but just reporting it because it is an interesting claim nonetheless. And then there's um, doesn't she look like Bride of Frankenstein or something, like, some bad evil woman from some science fiction movie, like some old science fiction movie. Jeff Epstein here saying, see, he's alive. Erica Mossad Kirk is fake crying again. Why can't she squeeze out a single tear for once? So, yeah, you know, she's she's behaving weirdly. It's just I can't buy her acts. I'm sorry. I don't want to be insensitive in case I'm wrong, but still, she's very sus. And also, Foundering here says there's no footage of Tyler Robinson getting arrested. So, the guy who supposedly shot Charlie Kirk, or entering the jail holding room footage will not be released. Dude's not even real, is he? So, request for surveillance video. Two news filed a public records request with the Washington County Sheriff's Office for video showing Robinson entering the Washington County jail holding area and video of Robinson in a holding room. We do not have any records responsive to this portion of the request, as Tyler Robinson did not go to or enter the jail area, wrote a records officer with Sheriff's Office. Holding room video was denied as part of the investigation. So, okay, yeah, maybe Foundering is right and Tyler Robinson doesn't exist, or maybe he just fell off the earth or something, or yeah, like, shouldn't this alarm people if this is true? But I've seen nobody else mention this. So yeah, what the WTF is going on? And there's also this Erica Kirk reveals she prayed she was pregnant when her husband Charlie was assassinated. See, and there's some people talking, like, making claims that she's 8 months pregnant, or no, not 8 months, 8 weeks pregnant, that, she would have been impregnated after Charlie Kirk's death. But as far as I know, that's not true. Like, she only made this weird comment, and it's just okay. It just sounds like it's, attention whoring, in my opinion, what she said. But, as far as I know, she's not pregnant, or nor has she claimed to be pregnant. But there is some apparent disinfo on the internet saying that, she is pregnant, and somebody else would be the father. But that's basically all about this topic, and let's move on to German bureaucrat parasite steal man's DNA, and also other European news sort of lumped together. So Germany turns an X post into a police raid at dawn. A man in Germany called government workers parasites on X. A few hundred views later, the police raided his home, seized his phone, took biometrics, demanded DNA. I warned he's under surveillance. So here is the same exact news, and this is the post. So this is translated from German. No, every person who is financed by the state pays no net taxes. They live off taxes. Every civil servant, every politician, every employee in a state-owned company, everyone who is subsidized and financed by the state, not a single parasite pays any net taxes. So what is like offensive about what he says, that he called them parasites? Because like my reaction was this: like, why do they need his DNA? Perhaps it was literally true that the government is controlled by actual parasites, and they suspect the guy has special genes that make him able to perceive them. It's like, I don't know. It's like he wasn't threatening anybody. He was just criticizing his government, and it's like, all my life I've been told that the Nazi Germany was the kind of country where you couldn't do stuff like this. Well, yeah, you couldn't say anything about the government online because the internet didn't exist. But you get the point, that you couldn't express your criticism of the government or anything. But and since Nazi Germany is no longer a thing, things would be better in Germany. But no, it seems like not only there is this. Censorship and punishment for criticizing politicians, like there was the other case a couple of years ago or whenever, that somebody called a fat German politician fat, and he was also arrested or fined or something. And now this. So yeah, Nazi Germany is starting to look very good. Like, okay, let's say that, of course, some people now might dispute that maybe Nazi Germany wasn't even so, like, censorship happy, let's say. But even if they were, it still seems superior, because at least they didn't have like, foreign grooming gangs and stuff like that, or trucks of peace driving into Christmas markets, things like that. They didn't have those back then, but then they also had the censorship. So yeah, where's the downside exactly? You tell me. And internal documents: EU member states agree on voluntary chat control. So yeah, EU states agree on common position on chat control. Internet services should be allowed to read communications voluntarily, but not are obliged to do so. What does this mean even? We published a classified negotiation protocol and the draft law. After the formal decision, the trilogue negotiations begin. So yeah, it was defeated, like the chat control law, that that basically there would be no private messages in the EU. But now they're ignoring democracy as usual in EU. Like, I'm not a fan of democracy, but like, if you are the entity that is supposed to be, you are the democratic entity, at least you should pretend to care about democracy. But like, when the political entity itself doesn't give a fuck, why should you? Like, why shouldn't every European person be vehemently against EU? Well, I've been against it since, for 30 years, since Finland joined it, basically. And the British police arrive at a teacher's home for the second time to arrest him for refusing to call a student they. There are some community notes here. This did not happen in UK or Britain. It's in Ireland. Okay, so that was wrong. And also, the teacher in question was arrested for ignoring the court order, not refusing to use preferred pronouns. So yeah, he was like fired and barred from the school, and then he went to the school, I think it said. But I think it's still part of the reason why he's arrested, because they were trying to force him to call student they instead of he or her, whatever the actual sex of that student was. So yeah, of course, this thing. And then there's news from Finland. I don't have many news from Finland, but this one: Finnish reporter gets arrested on the spot when he asked the president of Finland Stubb about the country's arms trade with Israel, while Stupido, yeah, this guy. Just look at this guy. Like, come on, man. It's like a stereotype, like a meme of some guy in a suit. Anyways, so he asked the president about country's arms trade with Israel while the genocide they are doing. So much for freedom of press. So yeah, I didn't even know about this arms trade because I really don't pay so much attention to Finnish politics because for the most part it doesn't matter because these people are even more puppets than like US politicians or anybody else. So let's have a listen.
President Stubb, is it appropriate for Finland to continue arms purchases from Israel, a country that has been accused of genocide by the UN and ICJ? Do you have a comment, Mr. President? No comment. That's our president, ladies and gentlemen.
There's a cop. Yeah, I don't know if he's actually being arrested or just like taken away because he was bothering the president. But still, Finland is a democracy with freedom of speech and all that shit supposedly. So the press should be able to ask the president uncomfortable questions. It's not like he was heckling him. He wasn't calling him an asshole or whatever, or telling him to stub his toe or anything like that. He was asking a legitimate political question. But I guess that's not allowed in NATO Finland. But yeah, I think then it's time. Yes, let's move on to Haiti. This is more like a funny story, but I'm gonna pour myself some water first. I'll be right back. And I have returned. So two Rambos wanted to take over a Haitian island, not the main island of Haiti, whatever, but like their one smaller island, I think. So two Americans planned invasion of Haitian island to kill all men and take sex slaves. U.S. federal prosecutors hope to recruit homeless in Washington to invade Gonave Island. Photo Dallas residents Gavin Weisenberg, 21, Tanner Thomas, 20, face life in prison. Yeah, where's the crime? Yeah, like I think they should be allowed to try it. Like especially if they're American citizens, they're gonna go to another country. It should be if they commit crimes in Haiti, the Haitian authorities should take care of them. Or like if they succeed, I think they earn. They should have the right to have the island. I think this is just so random. I wonder, like, how big is this island? Gonave Island. Let's see what we can find. Uh, Gonave Island from space. So it's almost 50,000 people. Okay. Yeah, I guess. Okay, so this is like Haiti. All right, all right. I just think that's funny. What's this? What's this? Now I have to start reloading this. Oh yeah, this is. I didn't know where to put this, so let's just put this news here. Or it's not news. Newly declassified doc shows Dalai Lama was on CIA payroll. I knew that like 20 years ago. In 2 decades of Tibetan unrest, Dalai Lama was paid 180K annual subsidy, and the 1962 India-China war was part of a covert U.S. strategy. Yeah, I wonder if he's still on CIA payroll or who pays his money now. Can I get on CIA payroll? What do I have to do? Become a religious leader? but that's not, that's annual. Like, of course, it was in the 60s, that was much more money, but doesn't seem like that high of a salary. But that's that. Let's go to Israel delenda est. Israel has to be destroyed, otherwise there's no sanity or anything in the world. Blah blah blah. I always repeat the same mantra, but I can't give up. I have to keep repeating it unless I get my wish, because it's also the truth. Israel, if Israel exists as the parasite it is right now, it's not gonna work. Hey, I have bots in my chat. Yippee! So let's see. At least 24 people are dead and 54 wounded after Israeli airstrikes in Gaza, testing the ceasefire that began in October, officials say. So yeah, testing the ceasefire. It's not violating or breaking the ceasefire, they're testing it. Is it like, was it Thomas, one of the disciples of Jesus, after he rose from the dead, and he wanted to touch the holes on his body to see, like, he really died and he had the holes on his body. It's like, it's the same thing. I don't know. It's like AP, anal poop. That's what it stands for. But at least they are reporting on it, so that's good, but still. And France investigates Grog for alleged Holocaust denial. So yeah, this sort of convinces me that Candice Owens might be right about the claim that France wants her dead, or the French government or president. Oh yeah, and he was Emmanuel Macron, before becoming president. He was a banker for the Rothschilds. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. Senator Chuck Schumer says he is leading a resolution to formally condemn Nick Fuentes. Like, why? It's no secret I'm no fan of Nick Fuentes, but like, what does it mean to condemn a person from a senator? Like, it's just brings me flashbacks to Civilization 6, when it's all about condemning people. Like, every fucking turn, somebody, the other nations, they're gonna condemn you for something you did, or what does it mean? Like, that's so gay. I don't know. What's this? Okay. White House tweeted, President Trump vowed he wouldn't stop until every Israeli hostage was brought home, and he kept that promise. Heroes. So Hitler here says, Israeli hostages, why are we fighting for Israeli hostages? Yeah. And Homeland Security, that's, supposedly not from Israel. We have room for but one flag, the American flag. We have room for but one language here, and that is the English language. And we have room for but one sole loyalty, and that is loyalty to American people. Theodore Roosevelt. Yeah, well, I guess Israel is included in that somehow. And Israel's Minister of Finance, Minister of Finance, Smotrich, international law doesn't apply to Jews. That's the difference between the chosen people and others. So yeah, I don't see any community notes, so I guess he really said that. Like, just let that sink in. If this seems like news to you, that why I'm saying that Israel delenda est. And Jerusalem Post declares that Pope Leo XIV must denounce Nick Fuentes and Candice Owens by name for sinful anti-Semitism. Wait, is like, okay, Fuentes is at least supposedly Catholic, but I don't think Candice Owens is even Catholic. So, and I didn't know that the Catholic Church is. I thought they're, Christian, Catholic, not Jewish, but I guess I'm wrong. Maybe I missed an update or something. I'm, sometimes behind the times. And so yeah, it's talking about the same condemnation from, that Pope should denounce Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes. E. Michael Jones says the Jews are becoming historical as they lose control of the narrative. Now they're ordering the Pope around. So what are they going to do? Excommunicate the Pope if he doesn't do their bidding. Who gave the Jews the right to impose their religion on the Pope? I guess should ask the Pope. Well, I don't know if the Pope has responded to that, but yeah. And a French general says Paris must be prepared to lose their sons in order to defeat Russia. This is clear incitement to war that nobody normal wants. And this is, I guess I could add it that general is saying they should, die for Israel. That's basically what it always means. Or Israel adjacent people. They're not going to fight the wars, you are. And if you're wondering who to thank for the vaccine and the pandemic response, we have provided some great intel in the thread, says Brandon Taylor Moore, whoever this is. Wherever the plague rages worst, there you will find the Jews have poisoned the wells again. Johannes Eck, 1541 AD, Catholic theologian. Interesting. Does history always repeat itself? Thank you to all the Jews who saved us during the pandemic through diligent media coverage, vaccines, and leadership. So like Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla, CDC Director Rochelle Walensky, Vanguard CEO, owner of Fox and CNN, J&J, Mortimer J. Buckley, BlackRock CEO, Johnson & Johnson CEO, Alex Gorski, is he also? Are all of these people truly Jewish? I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I'm not gonna read all of them, but just you can have a look if you want. And the truth and nothing but the truth. So what's this? Who's in charge of the? I guess we can try to
You
listen.
need to stop.
Who's in control? Who was in charge of the CDC that was controlling and telling our government to shut down small businesses and what they recommend for the mandates of the vaccines and Pfizer and all? At the time when COVID was being enacted, I'm going to read off the staff of who was in charge of this CDC.
Okay, this is some stupid music. Okay, it's the same people sort of here. The music might be copyrighted or something, so I'm not gonna play that. So yeah, these people are dual citizens with Israeli Jews, allegedly, according to this guy. Yeah, I'm not gonna play it all. You can go see Brandon Taylor Moore if you wanna see the video by yourself. And it has been scientifically proven and published in a peer-reviewed study that Ashkenazi Jews were affected least by COVID-19. Yes, I've heard the claim many times and never seen anybody debunk it. Those who are traditionally white Christians were impacted by most by COVID-19. Grok provided an active link to the study referenced. Okay, it's the Jews, he says. This frog says. No, it's coincidence, I think. Okay, what's this? Every single time. What's every single time? World is shocked by corruption of Ukrainians. Mindich Jew flew to Israel. Zuckerman Jew flew to Israel. Sheffield Jew flew to Israel. Oh, okay. So this is Alexander Zuckerman and Timur Mindich, Ukrainian oligarchs who embezzled hundreds of millions of dollars and have now fled to Israel to be free from international extradition. Is this thing human? Come on. Surely this is like some meme image. Yeah. See, I don't like when this happens because, of course, I like all decent people. I oppose anti-Semitism in all forms, but if these people behave like this, they're gonna play into the negative stereotypes and perpetuate them, and I oppose that vehemently. Okay. While everyone was distracted with the Epstein nothing burger today, the CDC quietly admitted they've been lying about vaccines for decades. So the claim vaccines do not cause autism is an evidence-based claim. Is not an evidence-based claim because studies have not ruled out the possibility that infant vaccines cause autism. Interesting. Studies supporting a link have been ignored by health authorities. HHS has launched a comprehensive assessment of the causes of autism, including investigations on plausible biologic mechanisms and potential causal links. Do they have? Yeah, I asked Grok, is this true? Where's the reply? No. Have they deleted it? There was a reply. That's interesting. That's very interesting because I did ask, like, because see, it shows one reply and it's just this meme. So okay, I'm not gonna read all that, but yeah, it said something like addressing this that yeah, it debunked Foundring's claim that he claimed that CDC he has been lying about vaccines, but like, but he did admit that the oh no, yeah, the first it debunked the claim that CDC admitted they've been lying, and then I asked another question that have they previously claimed that CDC have they claimed that vaccines don't cause autism, and I think Grok said they did. So yeah, so Grok sort of was trying to protect them, but I managed to call out the bullshit, and now their posts have been deleted apparently. Interesting. So was this, you aren't supposed to know this, but Hitler enacted laws that made it illegal for public servants to own stock portfolios. Everything you want from your American government, Hitler actually did. So he enacted laws making it illegal for public servants to possess stock portfolios or to serve as consultants to private corporations. Yeah, horrible. That's, how could a society run? It's if you don't allow the politicians to work to increase their own, fatten their bank account. Because, Hitler didn't even own a bank account like a monster. And Syrian girl here saying Noam Chomsky is a Mossad age asset. And, I'm old enough to remember Noam Chomsky originally from his linguistic stuff, like, about his linguistics theories about like the language organ and stuff like that. But for the past few decades, he's been more about politics and stuff. But anyway, he received money from Epstein. He was in the Epstein emails and stayed at his house. He was photographed with Epstein and introduced him to Fidel Castro. Chomsky's role was to gatekeep and misdirect the left. Yeah, like I remember some old video about somebody asking him about 9/11 being an inside job, and it sounds like, oh, I'm not interested, it's too boring, I'm so bored, blah, something really retarded. Anyway, he has always supported the existence of Israel and lived in a kibbutz when he was a young Zionist. He consistently tried to redefine anti-Zionism and criticism of Israel. He supported color revolutions that help Israel, like the one in Syria. He pushed the notion that it's the US that controls and benefits from Israel when the truth is the opposite. To this day, that last lie has been the most damaging and the most difficult to shake. It permeates to higher echelons of the decisions making tree. It is the cause of a lost war. People who are infected by this myth are not necessarily bad people. They include Changi Communist and Hotha Ali. But once you push back on this myth, and you will see how hard the Zili left has come down on you. Yeah, so Jeffrey Epstein moved $270,000 to Noam Chomsky and paid $150,000 to Leon Botstein. Botstein, so it's a Jewish robot? What? I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Not surprising at all. Okay, but that's different topic already. So let's move from Israel Delendaris to game slop news, game and entertainment, and also some um, technology news, I guess, as well. This section keeps increasing. So Microsoft AI CEO Mustafa Suleyman has shared his opinion after recent online pushback from users frustrated with Copilot and AI on Windows. The fact that people are unimpressed is mind-blowing to me. So I don't know if is he really this out of the loop and like really does is surprised by this, or is he just acting facetiously and pretending not to know? I don't know, and which one is the worst option, anyways. What's this? I'm Gaming Co-Pilot, your personal gaming sidekick. I'm here to help you with game strategies while you play, recommend games you love, dive into anything you are curious about, and of course, spy on you. Like help you with game strategies. So gonna be spying on you all the time when you play, right? I'm here to spy on everything you say and ban your account if you say anything bad about transies. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, who'd want that? Like, sure, like it's good to have AI. Like, you can go to some other AI. It doesn't have to be spying on you all the time. Like, if you want game strategies or something, I don't think that's inherently a bad idea. But of course, AI can lie. Like, I remember some time ago, I asked ChatGPT for cheat codes to the old Amiga game Chaos Engine, because the game was sort of fun, but it's also hard, and I just wanted like unlimited lives or something. And but as far as I know, cheat codes don't exist for the game. But like it was telling me like it was Amiga CD32. Like it was telling me, yeah, you have to press like the, you know, pause the game and press the A and B button or something. But then it's like I pointed out like the Amiga CD32 controller doesn't have such buttons. Like, oh, you're right. And it's basically I made it up. It's like, come on, man. But of course that was like a year ago, so maybe it's the AI might be better now, and the lies are less transparent. Elon Musk says AI and humanoid robots will eliminate poverty and make everyone wealthy, or more like eliminate the poor. And so, yeah, it will make everybody wealthy if you eliminate poor, or will it make everybody poor if everybody is a millionaire? Then is anybody really a millionaire? It's like I'd like to know how does he envision it? AI and robots to actually accomplish that. Like it's gonna cause people to lose their you know lots of people to lose their jobs and stuff. Like I'm not saying it cannot be done, but like our society, I don't think it's gonna work out. You know. Anyways, Microsoft finally admits that almost all major Windows 11 core features are broken, and they just don't want you to use Windows 10, which I guess it supposedly works a bit better. Microsoft says it's working on a fix, but for now has provided a couple of workarounds to deal with the issue. Yay. I don't know, can't somebody sue them or something? I don't know what the fuck is going on with anything in this fucking world. And Scott Ross, the saint of gaming, says, I'm reminded of Microsoft's claim earlier this year that the new code for Windows is 30% AI generated. I've been hoping they were lying and saying that just to impress investors, but maybe they're not. Yeah, referring to the same news. Yeah, maybe they're not. So eugenics is profitable now. So IQ is 50% genetic, height is 80% genetic. Have your best baby. IVF done right. I know that Catholics are very against IVF. I don't know that so much about it to say whether it's I'm for or against it, but it is eugenics, because somebody's here claiming like, well, it's not eugenics because it's not the same as the eugenics programs 100 years ago in various countries like Sweden and Canada. But it is eugenics. Eugenics just means good genes, and this is if you try to actually I some many years ago I stayed in a hostel in Beijing, and I talked with one of the like girls who worked there, and she said like her boyfriend dumped her because of his mom, because she was too short. So if they would have children, they would be short too. And I don't think she was particularly short. She was a average Chinese girl or something. So they were practicing eugenics already back then. But of course, it might be that it's just an excuse. Maybe there were other reasons why they actually dumped. But I don't know. I was just reminded of that story. It's not, and I'm not saying it's bad to be eugenics oriented, like your mind be eugenics oriented or not, as long as you don't go full retard with it. I guess it's interesting that we are heading in that direction. What's this? Oh, and now we have a six finger man or six finger woman. So yeah, this is from the latest episode of One Punch Man. And this woman has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers. Oh, but there's a thumb, so she has 6 fingers. And some people are saying this means it's AI, and others are saying it's definitely means it's not AI. So I don't know what it is, but it's incompetence clearly, unless she's supposed to be a mutant with 6 fingers. I don't know who this character is. I haven't watched a new season, and I don't know if I wanna watch it because I didn't like the 2 previous seasons, but maybe I will just be depressed if it's really as bad as people say, and it seems to be. It's just like, and they had like fucking 6 years. They had 6 years to make this season, but they still is half-assed. And there's also this. Apparently, the same character has 3 boobs, or maybe she's from Mars. Like Total Recall. So yeah, there's now allegations that One Punch Man season 3 is using AI. This conversation, like if it's using AI, it's really shitty AI and really shitty people, like not knowing how to check it. Like they even if they use the image, generate the images with AI, they should have some actual artists who can sort of retouch them to get out there of the retardation in it. So I don't know, like, are they actually using AI or is it lack of quality control? It's like, doesn't really matter at the end. Like, it's the end result is what matters, and it sucks, and that should be there. And the people behind this have been complaining about, oh my god, people are criticizing us. Well, yeah, because you're so fucking incompetent. Like, come on. Okay, Kingdom Come 2 Deliverance 2 is now nominated for GOTY Game of the Year award. The first game was not nominated for anything because it was too based. All they had to do for the second to get nominated was to make it gay and lame. I hope it was worth it. Yeah, basically, it's woke. It's woke garbage. Like, okay, maybe it's not garbage. That maybe some of the gameplay might be fun, but it's still woke. And if you oppose wokeness, then you shouldn't give them your money. If you're fine with it, then go ahead, knock yourself out. But I'm not gonna support them. Tales of Berseria remastered to use international censored version in Japan too. So I think like this implies that the current international version is already censored or not. And I think it's some sort of like violent stuff, not necessarily like lewd stuff that's censored. Haven't played it. Like I think I own this game on Steam, but I think it's de novo, so I don't want to play it. Or maybe if I play it, I'm gonna have to get a peg leg to do it, because I got it in a bundle and wasn't paying attention. Maybe now I would like intentionally not buy any bundle with any single de novo game, but that was many years ago. So Gothic 1 versus Gothic Remake. So the women, so Gothic, the sort of classic chunky RPG. I haven't played them, but I know something about them. Anyway, it's been remade, and the women have been heavily censored and uglified. So is this actually like, are they supposed to be the same character? Like, okay, this is very pretty either, but this is like a almost 25-year-old game or something, and this just looks like a guy. Like, okay, there's boobs, but if I just saw the face, I would genuinely think it's a guy. Are these the same women? Like these, at least you can see it's supposed to be attractive, and yeah, and these just look okay. She's not horrible, but she just looks old. Like maybe she used to be attractive like 10 years ago or something. But yeah, so it goes. Everything turns to shit. Fuck you. So, Nintendo of America bans the Great Rebellion Edition 2084 from Nintendo Store a day before it was to go on sale. So, yeah, this is some sort of. I think it has some chud right wing humor and stuff and memes. And it's been on my Steam wish list for a while, but just because it seemed interesting, I don't know great a lot about it or anything. Um, but yeah, it was supposed like day before it was to be released on Switch, it was banned. But I think it's only banned in Europe and America. You can buy it in Japan's like online store for the Switch. So yeah, it's clearly wokeness hasn't died. It hasn't gone away, and whoever is claiming so is lying or just plain old wrong. Valve says its upcoming Steam machine will be priced like a PC, not like a console. According to Linus Tech Tips, they expect it to be very competitively priced with a PC. It will be priced like a PC rather than a console. So yeah, people are saying it's gonna be like $750 because originally people thought it would be like 600 or something. But it might be even more than that though, so we don't know. But some people are saying there's gonna be, it's gonna be dead on arrival. But I think there's still gonna be enough pay pigs or simply people who don't really care whether it's like 600, $1,000. For me, that's a big amount of money, but for some people, it's not. Valve says the Steam machine price will not be subsidized or sold at a loss. I'm not going to be a sort of a subsidized device, correct? Okay, well, how about getting rid of all the censorship and payment processor bullshit on your platform at least then? Like, yeah, it doesn't fill me with confidence if it's and a lot of people are saying like if it costs almost as much as a proper gaming PC, why wouldn't you just buy a gaming PC? Unless you're rich, you already have a fancy gaming PC, but it's like yeah, maybe you want a you know, Gabecube in your living room, then sure, okay, fine, if you're fucking rich, but yeah. And RAM prices seem to be going up really steeply as well, which might be one reason why the Gabecube is gonna be more expensive than thought. I don't know if it's coincidental or maybe there's some connection between these two facts. Not sure. And yeah, RAM prices quintupled in only 2 months. A PS5 Pro is now cheaper than a fucking DRAM. It's always so fucking over, bros. Yeah, it's crazy. I can't say I know very well how much a freaking DRAM or whatever costs anyways, but it's like if the prices have quintupled in 2 months, that's fucking insane. Like what the fuck is going on? Some blame AI for it. Anyways, Ubisoft says 1.16 billion Tencent billion euro Tencent deal is imminent. Yeah, whatever. It's like, one soulless corporation being bought by another soulless corporation. Like, okay, Tencent makes some pretty looking females, but like, do they have any games? I've yet to know if their stuff has any gameplay. Twitch is requiring UK users to scan their faces to watch certain streams. The government calls it safety. Yay. Okay, so if you're watching me on Twitch, did you have to scan your face? Twitch added to Australia's social media ban. Starting December 10th, Twitch will block the signups from those under 16 and will start deactivating the accounts of current users who aren't old enough. This in itself isn't necessarily bad, but if you have to, dox yourself to prove you're old enough, then it's bad. Come on, load, load. Hello, my computer. Do I need more RAM or ROM or spam? Come on. Finally. Okay. Let's close some of these. Hopefully make it work a bit better. Almost. There's only a couple of tabs left, but now it's like, nope. Okay. So yeah, there's this old meme, but it's a really good one. I should be reminded. Piracy is not theft, it's piracy. Handy guide. Theft removes the original. Piracy makes a copy. No dev or publisher has ever been able to refute this. Yeah, it's like I've said many times, like you're free to argue that piracy is immoral or illegal or whatever, but it's not theft. It's like you know, if somebody tries to argue that assault is the same as murder, like you attack somebody on the dark alley and beat them up, and they end up in a hospital. It's still bad. Although I'm not saying that piracy is bad either, but it's piracy is usually a crime though in many places. But anyway, so you attack somebody, send them to hospital. It's not murder if they're alive. It's bad. So it's like yeah, or assault or rape and murder are not the same. Like it doesn't mean you condone the thing if you acknowledge they are not the same. But for some reason there was the ancient ad on MTV. You wouldn't steal a car. No, but I would download a car. I would 100% download a car and send copies to my friends if I could. And there's just this very comfy looking cup game. I don't know what the game is about. It's for Sakura. It's something to do with Hoyoverse, some Chinese slop. Don't know much about it except it looks nice. I think it's Chinese. Name was Sayuki. That's Japanese. Uh, so seeing this makes me intrigued, but I have no idea what the gameplay is about. And also, like the old type cars is very comfy, but it's also like made me very sort of wistfully depressed looking at it. It's like in the now or in the near future we live in idyllic video game scenarios like this world. This looks like a really nice world to live in, but actually outside in real world it's dystopia. So we're just gonna hide in places like this. Okay, that those skyscrapers in the background don't look so comfy as the more rural scenery. But hey, at least I want to know more about this game when it comes out, or But I haven't really played any gacha games or anything ever. Maybe I should try, but I don't know. Maybe I'm too sus about them. Uh, but that's all I have for this week. Um, so yeah, I hope they actually do release the Epstein files without being withheld and redacted, and the people responsible for the crimes, the accomplices and stuff, that they go to jail. But I have my doubts. But I'm Adventure Argonaut. I thank you for watching. Bye bye. Oh yeah, and I forgot to say it, but like on the weekend I did make a video, the Argo perspective on Darkness Within 1 and 2, and I hope you would go watch it. Like, it's only on YouTube and Rumble and Odyssey. I'm also on Odyssey, but if you listen this far, so go check it out. Bye bye.